Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on 790 The Bet. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency.
Hey, good morning and welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. I almost messed up my introduction, which never happens all very often, but I'm so rattled that I'm jaked out here just about. I'm thinking of turkeys and jakes, and we've been talking about jakes here for the last 15 minutes, but we're going to talk right now to a young man who's coming off a wire-to-wire win at the Bassmaster Elite on Santee Cooper Lakes. Lake Marion was really good for him. He's got a century belt, and if you don't know what that means, we'll let Drew Cook tell you about it as we talk to Drew Cook on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Good morning, Drew.
Good morning. I appreciate you having me on.
Glad to have you. Bill Cooksy's listening in. Let's get this out of the way if we can, because as you listen to the last segment with Jason Christie, and we got to talking about his who did we talk about, Bill?
A buddy of mine named Jake Latondras, originally from Camden, Tennessee.
And Jake was the cameraman in Jason Christie's boat when he won the Classic.
Right.
And now let's talk to Drew Cook. Drew, who was in your boat when you won at Santee Cooper?
Jake was my camera guy as well.
That guy, I bet they're all just lining up to get Jake right now. So we can get Jake out of the way. And as Jason told us, and you said it also, Drew, that Jake's been on a roll, hasn't he? I mean, golly. Yeah.
He is.
Well,
we've had 3 elites so far, or 3 events, and he's 3-1 in 4 events. He's
3-1
in the boat with 3 winners.
Wow. Well, I don't know. He was taking pictures, but you were doing the fishing. So let's talk about this.
Right.
Let's talk about this victory, Drew, because I know it meant a lot to you. Not only to win it wire to wire, your first victory, but to come up with the century belt. And people may say, "What in the world is that?" Well, look, Drew caught 105.5 pounds of fish. Can I say that again? Okay. Incredible. But not only that, the guy behind him caught 100 pounds of fish, 103 pounds behind him. And this is incredible. So talk about it, Drew. I mean, you've had a little time to think about this. And they said that late day cull lifted you to victory. So talk about the experience, what it's been like, and how it all came about.
Yeah, it was most definitely a week that I will never forget. I've worked so hard to not only win one of them, just to be where I am right now. And I mean, it was like a Cinderella story almost. The final day was a little bit tough on me, and in the last hour, I caught the biggest fish I caught all week, almost 8-pounder.
Yes.
To win, and it was crazy. It was an unexplainable feeling. Because for Jake, my camera guy, knew more of what I needed to win than I had. No idea what anybody else had caught.
Yes.
But I knew I needed, one big one in it, and I'd have a shot. And whenever I caught that one, it was just an unbelievable calming sense that came over me that made me feel like I had finally done it and finally won my first elite event. Which is, they are so hard to come by.
Aren't
it's
they?
so hard to even have the opportunity
Yeah.
to win one. And I had been there, a few times and had the opportunities and come up short. For it to finally all work out, it was an amazing deal.
Now, as well as I remember, listen to this, Cooksey. He says, I don't ever remember what happened about landing the big fish. I think I kissed Jake. Now, I don't know about that, so it was in slow motion, whatever. I had to hook until I got it by hand. True.
It was. It felt like it took 10 minutes to get that bass to the boat, which it only ended up being about 30 seconds.
Yes, yes.
Whenever I put my hands on him, it was me and Jake both just erupted. It was crazy. I know I gave him a big hug and told him I loved him, and it was awesome.
Hey, again, we're talking to Drew Cook, Bass Elite Series angler who just came off a big victory. I'm talking about a big victory with one of those dream tournaments that you think about. Drew, is this Cairo, Georgia, or is it Cairo? Cairo, right?
Cairo, Georgia.
All right.
All right.
Just like Cairo, Illinois. No, that's Cairo. No, I get them all mixed up there. But
It's Cairo.
It's Cairo up there. But a big victory, and the way you did it, and all these the belt, the extra. You got $1,000 extra for catching that big fish. You had so many things happening about it. Has it come down to earth, and what's been the reception? I guess you got more cousins now than you ever thought you had. So I mean,
it honestly, it still really hasn't fully set in yet.
Yes.
The past 3 days, every morning, whenever I wake up, either me or my wife will say, "Can you actually believe that happened? Like we actually did it." And it is a we. It's not just a me. There's a lot of effort from both of us, the whole family that goes into it. And it hasn't set in yet. I think it's going to set in whenever I come home from or whenever we get to our next event and Dave Mercer announces my name and it has a Elite Series champion in front of it.
That
it'll actually set in.
Yeah, it's going to set in, and that Century belt. Not a lot of people have one of those. I don't know. I don't know if do you wear it around like Jerry Lawler, the King, and these wrestlers?
They gave this old redneck one of them. I probably will.
That's right. Oh, it's such a cool thing here. And I know you talked about in there, and I read the press release from the guys. A big bite baits, the Fighting Frog, which I love. I think that's one of the greatest bait names there is and everything. And then also that you mentioned about all my friends joked with me and said I was going to win my first tournament. The friends and the backing. You mentioned your family. Talk about the support. I don't think a lot of folks know. This is not an easy life.
No, it is not at all. It is extremely hard, and you can't do it without a really good support base. And I have an amazing support group behind me. All my friends back home, they always joked that I was going to win my first tournament on a spinning rod, smallmouth fishing.
Yes.
Something that's just completely out of my element.
Yeah.
But
but
we had that delay, the weather delay.
Oh, that's right.
We ended up fishing Championship Monday, and all my friends, they all, I guess, were sick on Monday. They all came up there and were able to be there for it. So it was a really special moment to be able to get it done and have everybody there.
I don't guess you'll ever forget Potato Creek either, right? What a name for a place. That's going to be where you caught your fish in Lake Marion and caught the majority of them in the lily pad fields. Wow. Next to deep water. I was really kind of thinking about that. Had you found this pattern early in practice? Did you know where you were going? And because that's a cool place to find.
Yeah, I didn't know it was as good as it was. I didn't know that the pocket that I started in was as special as it was. I had planned on fishing in that pocket the first day and maybe half of the second day, and then I was going to have to leave, I felt. But there was so many fish swimming into that pocket that I actually never had to leave the whole tournament. And it was very surprising that that one pocket in Potato Creek was as good as it was.
Wow. And you used 2 rods, and I see you used, ready to commit to Tilapia Magic Colored Fighting Frog. That one is going up on the mantle, I hope, along with the other things that you've done, because everything seemed to click. It's one of those dream things that makes you click. So what does this do to your career?
Oh, it was. I told my marshal on day one, I said, we can win this tournament. The only thing I have to do is stay out of the way. I'm the only one that can mess this up, because it was just one of those weeks that was going right. For my career, this is huge. It solidifies me in the bass fishing, on the Elite Series, in the industry.
Yes.
It'll end up equating to, more sponsorships, more
yes, it will.
better deals, things like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just super thankful and grateful that it all worked out like it did.
Well, Drew,
I had a great group of sponsors that took a shot on a 20-year-old kid years ago that I'm still with today.
Amazing.
And it's a bittersweet, awesome feeling to know that they took a gamble on me, and it's worked out for them as well.
Well, Drew, we appreciate you being on Outdoors with Larry Ray. We look forward to talking to you many times, young man, as you continue this.
I hope this isn't the last.
This won't be the last. We've got your cell phone number unless you change it. Okay, look for that 901 area code. We're coming after you, okay, Drew Cook? All right, buddy?
That sounds good to me. I appreciate y'all having me on.
All right, have a great day, and if I need
congratulations, Drew.
Yeah, congratulations. We'll talk to you. All right?
Thank y'all again. Enjoy your weekend.
Okay, Drew Cook. And, Bill, there's enthusiasm in that young man's voice.
Hey, that's a big doggone deal. And if anybody watched that footage, that was a very cool tournament. I mean, ultra shallow water.
Yes.
When he hooked that big one, it just left a wake.
Yes.
For 20 yards across the water. I mean, when you catch a fish and can see it running, I mean, it's kind of like red fishing in the Louisiana marsh. You're in
exactly
water
right.
with a big old fish on.
Yeah. One almost.
My wife was watching it and said, "Why don't we fish like that?"
Well, if you were fishing for 100,000, you might. Okay, so let's.
Well, Kentucky Lake doesn't exactly fish like that.
No, that doesn't fish like that. And you're not. You can get you a fighting frog though. Maybe that'll help you there. But
that's exactly right.
Yeah. Well, Bill, we appreciate you being with us on the road, buddy. Look forward to talking to you next week, folks. Go all turkey. Get those box calls, slate calls, mouth calls. Get them all ready. Going to have some surprise guests on here. Some people that you'll say, how did he get him on? I don't know. We're going to find out. But thank you, Bill. And as we always say, it doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport. And what else, Bill Cooksey? God bless the USA.